Yes, I do have a degree of sympathy for that. I think sort of imposing some sort of stitched up prime minister on the country in a week or two doesn't particularly make any sense. Of course, you can make the broader argument that simply allowing 100,000 almost exclusively white male and middle-aged or retired conservative members to decide who the prime minister of the country is isn't a particularly good system and hasn't delivered us particularly good results in the recent past, as you said. But this is the constitutional position. The Conservative Party has to decide who it can form a majority government. And I think, as you say, that has to play out over a period of weeks or months, not of days or hours.
What about the role of Boris Johnson at the moment as well? And I say that not because I have a view personally on whether Boris Johnson should stay or go. I know every single person down on Abingdon Green does. Everyone in Westminster has a view on it. But actually, my point about Boris Johnson staying is he's promised not to add any new radical policies while he is in this caretaker role. That, for me, sounds like a worrying policy announcement, albeit it's not leaving his successor with a big challenge of whether to accept those policies or not. But at a time of international crises, at a time of an economic crisis as well, is that right that there shouldn't be any major policy moves during that period?
Well, I think it's clearly right that you can't have a prime minister who has been kicked out by his own party for repeatedly lying to the country. And arguably, given some of the revelations we've heard about his contacts with Alexander Lebedev, a colonel in the KGB, arguably considerably worse than that, you can't have him making major policy decisions. On the other hand, it's not clear that there is that immediate pressing need. The international crisis you refer to, well, the UK's political establishment across the entire political spectrum is entirely united on the policy towards Ukraine. This is one thing that is not a matter of domestic political debate at all. Any conceivable prime minister from the Conservative Party, or indeed any other party, would have broadly the same policy towards Ukraine. So, the stability there is not a problem. And on the domestic policy front, frankly, the last thing that, in my view, the UK economy needs now is a sort of panicked set of across-the-board tax cuts, or the sort of thing that some people appear to be tempted by. So, we need a proper medium to long-term economic strategy. This government doesn't have one. It never did have one. Not having one for another couple of months is probably not the end of the world. And again, it's probably not a bad idea to give the various contenders a chance to set out what they think the economic future of the country is, what they think the right approach is towards our relationship with the EU, and so on.